Okay, I believe we're live with the Public Relations Committee. It's April 15th, 2026, first meeting of the year. So I'm starting things off, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I will write myself a note to get a flag installed in this little tiny classroom here. The committee needs to elect a chairperson, so I will take nominations. We have one member absent. Mr. Patillo has a conflict tonight with Facilities and Finance, and he is in that meeting. So Mr. Nault and Mrs. Gravel are here for the meeting. So we're going to take a nomination for the chair is welcome at this time.
Great. I would like to nominate Katie.
I second.
Second yourself, your own nomination. Okay.
And I accept.
Is there any discussion of said nomination? Hearing none. I guess we take a vote. I don't usually run meetings this way. I just run them. So all in favor of her taking on that august role? There you go. Unanimous.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
Congratulations. What a deal.
Competition was fair.
Our agenda tonight, which isn't sitting right in front of me, but it should be, is the presentation by a group called Aptigee, who does a website and communications device. We do have Alyssa on the phone with us this evening to talk about that, and the group can see the handout stuff that you sent to us, Alyssa, and we should be able to hear you on the recording through the phone. So I don't know, we can do a presentation on this, but we can certainly hear you. So why don't you talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages to our district taking that on compared to the website that I know you've already looked at that we currently have.
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
You can.
Okay, it's going out a little bit on my end, so I apologize if I'm breaking up at all. But yeah, like Bob said, my name's Alyssa. I'm with Aptigee. I've been talking with the district for a few months now, really just around how we can help with marketing. Obviously, there's more competition than ever. Just so you all know too, I specifically work with districts in New Hampshire, so work with a lot of your neighbors too. And yeah, really, I would say our main focus is not just on giving you all the tools in terms of a website, a custom mobile app, and mass communications. We do all of those things, and we've had those conversations, but we're more so focused on that branding piece. So how can we all partner with you to really help deliver that idea of telling your story and getting your story out there, so that you really can compete with your neighboring districts. And Bob, did you say that you all had the handout?
Yeah, they have a link to the handout so they can see that, the one that you guys made up, the custom just for us.
Perfect. Are there specific questions or anything that you wanted me to specifically hit on?
I think it's more the advantage. I mean, you've seen our regular website, which is pretty, non-helpful. I think the advantage that we're looking for, and you heard us talking earlier, where the, there's some other people in this space that do those things. So I think it would be sort of talking about the advantage of using an app based thing that connects to the website and how it all kind of integrates together to create a real communication platform for the district.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that there's two pieces here. I think it's really internal, like how are we helping the district and making your lives easier day to day, but also your community. So I think about really the website piece, like I said, more so on that branding and marketing side. We're really trying to hit your wider community, maybe people that aren't involved, maybe they're not parents, maybe they're not guardians, but maybe they're thinking about sending their child to the district, or maybe they're just wanting to see updates from the board, just things like that. So really that's where the focus is on the website, but the app, we know that that's where parents are day to day, right? So we want to build the custom Sanborn app, and that's what we do for districts. Would love to be able to show you, but I think the handout paints a pretty good picture there. So for current families, for guardians, and even the wider if we think about grandparents, aunts, uncles, just other people who want to be up to date with what's going on with their students, they're able to do that through the app. seeing something like the lunch menu or that live feed. I think that should be on the handout there as well. So really those are the two pieces there. But the other side is the back end and being able to update all of those platforms from one place. And that's what the Apogee platform allows you all to do. So rather than having one person update the social media, someone else trying to scramble and update the website when there's a snow day or something like that, the platform allows for all of those things to be updated from one place, including alerts. So text, voice, call, email, all of that is consolidated into one tool.
Yeah, can you talk about how, like, I read a book to a second grade class a couple weeks ago, and how that might kind of move through the ecosystem of Apogee so that people from the parents in that classroom on into the community would see something like that through the live feed or through the social media?
Yeah. I love that. That's like the most perfect example. So yeah, that's a great example. So somebody would take a picture of you, whether it be the teacher in the classroom or maybe one of the parents. Whoever has access to the Apogee platform is able to snap that picture, upload the image. I think Bob and I have talked a little bit about ADA compliance, but we have those safeguards in place. So if somebody was to upload a picture, we're going to have that alternative text that's required to even be able to post something. But still, we're getting everyone involved in that storytelling. So that teacher uploads the picture and then sends it to what we call the waiting for approval section, where whoever you all set to be that person who approves those messages ultimately can edit it, make any edits, spell check, approve, decline before it's sent out. But that's all being done through the Apogee platform, which teachers, staff members can have actually either on their desktop or on their phones as well. So there's a separate Apogee staff app where all of that can be done too.
So within say a third grade classroom, how would this benefit that particular classroom? And I think also talk about the safety and security piece sort of versus something like a school dojo, which I know at least one of our teachers uses. I think we'd like to get a little more secure than those kind of situations.
Yeah, and we've been having a lot of conversations too with districts around safety and security. So I know we've chatted about that being our main focus, but that's really the other section of the app. So rather than just that public facing information within the app is what we call rooms. And that's where pulling from, it's Alma, right, that you all use for your SIS? Okay, yep. We sync with Alma. We have those classrooms created within the room section so that teachers are able to post specific content for their classroom. But within there as well is the messaging section, so more of the two-way piece. And that's where teachers and parents and guardians are able to communicate back and forth within a secure platform. So a good example of that security is AI content moderation. So we're actually flagging anything that's inappropriate. Someone's trying to send their cell phone number or maybe a Snapchat or an inappropriate image. We're flagging it and preventing it from even being sent to the recipient. And that's something that I think it's never fun to talk about, but it's important to talk about. So that's something that we're really proud of there.
When you say that it syncs with Alma, do you mean that the teachers would still upload with Alma, but the parents only have to check? All right, what does that mean?
It's a different thing. Yeah. You can go, Alyssa. You know what that means.
So a few different ways that we sync with Alma. Number one, we're not going to replace Alma like as your student information system. Rather, we're going to pull that data in. We do a nightly sync typically with most districts do a nightly sync so that if you need to send out alerts, like I said, if there's a snow day or something like that, you're doing that through the Apogee platform, but it's being updated by Alma. So if anything in Alma is updated with that nightly sync, it'll reflect within the Apogee platform. But the other piece of that is that teachers are able to have those classrooms created at the beginning of each school year because of that sync with Alma. So they're not having to go through all of that work to create those classrooms within the Apogee platform. It's done automatically for them. Yeah,
so if a student goes from, Mrs. D to Mrs. E class, overnight, it'll flip the students' registration. So they become the parents and who's ever signed up now becomes a member of the other class. That's what she's talking
Okay,
about.
so maybe it's a user-friendly,
I'm getting quizzical looks here, like,
Yeah, I'm like,
and
so
that's-
what's the benefit?
Right.
Right, if they change, they change their algebra teacher,
Yeah.
it'll flip over to
Okay.
that new situation
Okay.
automatically. Yep,
Alright.
and it also
Yeah.
withdraws students when they withdraw. We don't have to do that.
okay.
It's all kind of done through, once it's updated in Alma,
Got
that updates the information.
Got it.
Yep.
And that's important not only for the ease of use for your teachers first off, but also that safety and security piece so that people aren't able to message after they've left the district or teachers have left the district. That's an automatic they're no longer able to log into the platform.
Right, and you guys retain all of the communication that happens on that within that room. So if somebody, it sneaks by the AI or they're implying something, it doesn't get picked up, that we can go back and have a record of who posted what and who said what and when, including teachers, kids, everybody.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And you have full access to view all of those conversations that are happening.
And then that live feed can then be fed up. So it could start in, Mrs. DeRozier's class, and then Miss Lancy, the principal, could post it so the entire school could, the community could see that. And then it could also be pushed up to somebody at the superintendent's office who could then post it out for the entire community to see. Obviously, you're checking names and faces of who should be on the website and so forth. But I'm pretty sure I got that right, that's a fairly straightforward thing to link and push through.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. And I would say too, it's really great because you can drill down all the way to the classroom level, but you can also share those things that are happening like in the classroom, but on a district-wide level. And that live feed is reflected on the website too, so that when you come to the homepage of the district site, people are automatically seeing all those great things, all those great stories that you all want to be able to share out.
And then is there a way to get those out onto Instagram? And as we know, Facebook is where everybody communicates in the world right now, including today.
Yeah. Yeah, so we sync with your social media. So if you do choose to, and we looked at this, I think, a few times, but if you do choose to want to share that out across your social media, you're able to share it out to the live feed, the website, the app, all of your social media. You could even send it out as a text to your families, all from one place. But you have the option of what you want to do and when.
Can it link to multiple social media accounts? Like each school has its own account?
Yep.
So then
Yeah,
let's say we have a community-wide announcement I want to push out to either a school, a group of parents, or the community as a whole, like a snow day, or, remember your kid has state testing tomorrow, please make sure they eat a good breakfast and so forth in one particular school. Can that go out? I think I read earlier today or yesterday that we can send that out through text and email like we do now. So it would effectively allow us to kind of replace that system that we currently have, that we have the option to send either a voice to, or a text to voice, phone call, email, text to the community. So that would replace that, correct?
Yeah. So we would replace your mass communications. Is it School Messenger that you're currently using?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So we would replace School Messenger again. The goal is to be able to consolidate all your tools into our one platform.
Yep. Okay. That's, obviously you can imagine that's how we pay for it. So those two things coming together.
One downfall of School Messenger I know that I've personally been victim of is like power outages. You can't use it, right? Or the schools have a delay in using it. But this is app-based and there's a mobile feature, so that wouldn't affect.
Right. I think it would show up on the app, but it would also, we'd be able to send it out messages more efficiently as a text because it would pick up basically everybody on their mobile device. And that School Messenger doesn't handle that very well. You kind of have to actively ask for the text.
Right.
Yeah, so we're gonna for something urgent like a school closure, like a snow day, you're gonna be able to, Bob would probably be you or whoever you set to do that would come into the Aptigee platform and send it out, replacing School Messenger, right? So text, voice call, email, but then you could also hit all the other platforms, the website, the app, and your social media all at once. So you're not having to go to each location to do that.
One thing we also talked about was the maintenance of the website itself. So currently our school assistants and our SAU assistant are doing a lot of the updating of the website. It's not really in their wheelhouse necessarily to know how to do that. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my favorite part to talk about actually is our client success team. I'm not on their team, but they are the reason I think that, we have a 99% retention rate with our partner districts, and we're really proud of that. So what we do and what we would do for you all is we're going to build and migrate your content to the new website, and host the new district site. But a part of that is going to be having that team at Apogee behind you all along the way, right? So like as you guys are onboarding, you'll have your onboarding team training you all on how to use the tools. But then as you get up and running too, we don't just say, okay, bye. Like you have a dedicated team at Apogee. Most of them are in our office in Little Rock, Arkansas. So you're talking to real people, you have that team, and they're helping you along the way. But we really do give you the tools to be able to update the site on your own, because it's easy to do. But again, you have that team if you ever do need anything.
What do we miss?
Yeah, any other questions or?
I didn't know if we had missed something that you normally end up talking about in a meeting like this. So that's I asked the question kind of.
I'm trying to think. I had all my bullet points. I think we hit, but I'm happy to answer other questions or anything else that you all can think of, because I know it's a big decision. So definitely want you to feel confident and supported.
Okay.
Alyssa, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So I think I have two questions actually. So one of them is, it looks like on doing some market research, there's no doubt that Apogee seems to come out on top when it comes to premium branding, ease of use, and like a few other things. So there's no question, even in like trying to look for things that would be good questions to ask you all, it looks like Apogee really offers a great product. So with that kind of set aside, with that great product, obviously comes a cost. And so as we try to be good fiscal stewards for our taxpayers and our district, and deliver a quality product that is going to be a post once and push out to multiple platforms kind of product. One of the feedbacks that came back was the rising cost of Apogee, and districts having concerns with hey, we got in the door, it was a great product, but there was no multi-year like lock on price, and there ended up being relatively large increases each year, which then it's an all-in-one platform, which is great. However, now all of your eggs are in that one basket, and as the price rises, districts are kind of left in that spot of like, okay, are we gonna pay this, or are we gonna start all over again? So what would be your response to that concern that I have?
Absolutely, and I totally understand that concern. I would love to know specifically, and I'm not asking you to answer this, but like which districts have said that. The only reason I say that is because we're primarily pretty low in terms of annual increases. I would say typically the increases, I can't give a specific number, but anywhere like around that 5% increase, and that really is just to keep up with inflation and the rising costs that it for us, right? So, but one thing that we can definitely look at for you guys specifically is something like a multi-year contract to lock in an annual increase. Like if you wanted to look at a specific increase, and we can definitely look at that. But the other thing I'll say is, I did talk with Bob about this. I was able to extend a discount for you all for that development cost. From $13,500 down to $8,500. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well, and then delaying that annual cost just to make it as easy as possible for you all. So a few different options there, but does that answer your question?
It does. I think what you've said is there's some wiggle room that we could, we can come up with something that would be mutually beneficial. And then so I'm looking at the sheet, and my second question is directly related to this. So looking at the sheet that Bob gave us here, and it says basically the annual cost for the app is a little over 15,000 billed July 1. And then the development was 13.5 with a discount for 8,500. So those are basically our onboarding and building is the 8,500, and then the annual cost come July 1 would be a little over 15. Did I understand that correctly?
Yep, you said that exactly right. So all that would be due, like upon signing on with us, would be that 8,500, and then come July 1 would be that annual, and then every July following would be just that annual cost. So you're only paying that development cost once, and that's to build out the app, build out the website, and the back end work that our onboarding team is doing.
Okay, great. I think you've answered my questions.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Anything else?
Great. No, I appreciate that, Alyssa. You've been super helpful all along trying to sort this out. So I think we're gonna say goodbye, and I'll touch base tomorrow and tell you what discussion ensues. It is a public meeting, but I think it's best that we sort of have that discussion without you, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'm just guessing.
absolutely. I will let you guys talk about it without me sitting here on the phone. It was nice to chat with you all, and I look forward to hearing from you, Bob. If anyone else has any other questions, feel free to share my email and my phone number with them, and I'm happy to follow up individually.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Alyssa.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. So
She's gone.
policy and personnel are scheduled 10
Yes,
minutes
I know.
ago in here.
Yeah, only 9.
So-
I mean, she's been fantastic to work with, and I talked to Brian will be here tonight actually, and
Yeah.
they use it in Fremont. And I just as a whim, I went to Milton just to see if it was something Adam uses, and he doesn't. He and I talked specifically about it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and he's very happy with it,
Yeah.
for what it's worth. And I talked to Bob Thompson in Hampstead. They also use it. He's very happy. So these are 3 people I know just for those references.
Okay.
You're looking for. And that's why I really zeroed in on them. I totally get it if you want to talk to School Square and some others, because SAU 16, I think, uses School Square up in Exeter. And
Is it School Square or Parent Square?
I think it's Parent Square. Thank you. It's School
Yeah.
Space, I think, is the
There's
other one, or something
School
like that.
blocks.
There's a zillion of them.
Because I have the
it's-
4 major ones, which are Apogee, Parent Square, Final Site, and School Blocks.
Mhm.
Why did Final Site come up in my head today? There was something we did on Final Site. So those, and but I heard you in that meeting, let's talk to Adam about big decisions. And I'm like, well, let me ask him. And
Yeah.
he was like,
No, that's
he
great.
was
I
all
appreciate
in.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They also add on the chatbot, which is a
Mhm.
$4,000 add-on. He's not seeing the value in that in their district.
Mhm.
It's a nice thing because people hop over the chatbot and say, where do I find information on this? Or how do I sign up on that? And it answers those questions. He just doesn't feel like it's worth the
Yeah.
extra coin that they're putting out for that.
Right.
And obviously, we would seek to end our contract with the other 2 vendors, School Messenger, which I'm pretty sure is a year-to-year
Okay.
thing, and the website to kind of pay for it.
Right.
But I think this is a
feel like that's
huge-
really
this to me is a
valuable
massive
information to know
upgrade.
if we can get out of those contracts.
Yeah, and the other thing is they will build it so it would be. What happens a lot is they get to go to build starting like June, July,
Mhm.
as the fiscal year flips in districts, and they're super busy in the summer. That's why they're willing to do the discount. I mean, it's also a discount you normally get anyway, on stuff like that to do that piece.
Seeing as we're out of time, should we just schedule another meeting to keep discussing?
Yeah, I can nudge her to give us that discount through May 6th, and I can do the
Like
research on the other guys as well
Yeah.
that you're looking for, and see. I'll reach out to some people who use different things, so we can definitely do that.
Okay.
Might be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
No, that's
Okay.
Awesome. And that was great to be able to talk to her and
Yeah.
hear a little bit of information.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And quite frankly, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, but and I'd like to hear Micah's input. But looking at the other 2, it seems like the Parent Square is sort of the other like top tier, if you will.
Right.
And maybe we get somebody from them to give us you know what I mean?
It
And then
might
we
be
can,
nice to just have that to compare.
yeah,
it's like the being fiscally responsible goal is really important, but we also have to consider our other goals of, right, improved community engagement and identity and trust and
Oh, yeah.
transparency. And
Yeah.
like, I think, right, we want to look at something that involves all those goals.
Yep.
And even Apogee, right,
Yeah.
Bob, like you did the numbers, it's still saving us money,
Yep.
even
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
high
yeah, yeah.
cost, right?
I was
So-
actually, when I
Yep.
read that, I was actually kind of surprised because
Yeah.
it's such an upgrade. It's a massive upgrade.
Mhm.
Yep.
So yeah, so can we get out of the other contracts?
Yep.
Let's do our, let's be responsible and maybe get some
Yeah.
sales pitch from another company
Yep,
that
sure.
seems good, and
Yeah.
then we can make a decision.
Sure.
I like it. Great.
You need to move to adjourn.
Oh,
Chair.
and right, I'm the chair now. Okay, well then I moved to adjourn this meeting 13 minutes ago.
That's okay.
Thank you,
Do I have
Katie.
a second?
Yes, yes. You can just adjourn.
Oh, I
now.
just adjourned.
Yep,
There's no
you just
second
adjourn it.
needed.
No,